It's almost like the office is a private club, and there is a purpose for me to spend time there, and it feels good. And I have friends there, and I have colleagues there, and I get to do exciting things when I'm in the space.
We're entering into a much harder world, and many employees have not experienced real hardship in the workplace. So I found these articles. One's called Pull Up a Chair, The Office Slowly Returns, and then another one is called The End of an Era, Employers Take Back Control, which is a lie. Both of these articles are on Forbes, and it's just a bunch of corporate nonsense to convince people to come back to the office using terrible reasoning. Both of these articles on Forbes actually were written by one CEO named Stephen Miles, the CEO of the Miles Group.
Welcome to C-Suite Intelligence, the show where we talk about important leadership challenges like the changing role of the office. I'm Stephen Miles, founder and CEO of the Miles Group.
Both of these articles are essentially about how employees have become entitled, how flexibility is no longer going to be a perk and there are going to be less perks, and it's basically just a CEO giving it to us straight about how the reality of the work life is going to be. It starts off with there's a lot of debate, discussion around the evolving nature of the office, with one CEO stating they would prefer 6 days a week, but 5 will have to do. I mean, why not just say 7 days a week? If they could get away with working you without paying you, they would. The first step in the new default is the company requiring employees to be in the office on some designated days per week, usually 3. Many of the CEOs we advise are calling these density days, because you're all just a bunch of cattle, I guess.
Today, we're talking about density in the office and what it looks like to reset your organization's culture. It's almost like the office is a private club, and there is a purpose for me to spend time there, and it feels good. And I have friends there, and I have colleagues there, and I get to do exciting things when I'm in the space.
This is a CEO who advises other CEOs, and his company offers video courses for you to learn how to be a better leader.
Ensure that you and the spokesperson are representing the company in the most professional manner possible. And don't rely on or overuse social media platforms.
The prevailing argument made by those executives who want to stay home is, why change now when we have spent more than 2 years doing it through the pandemic? This is the sunk cost fallacy. I don't think CEOs are giving that argument. We have now moved to the messy hybrid work environment where some people are home and others are at the office, which is leading to lower engagement and higher overall levels of grumpiness. The CEO's argument that virtual work is leading to lower engagement and higher levels of grumpiness is not supported by evidence. He doesn't link any data, nothing, no stats. In fact, it's normally the other way around. Remote workers are normally more productive and engaged than those who work in a traditional office setting. Let me show you a study that was done by Owl Labs. On average, those who work from home spend 10 minutes less a day being unproductive, work 1 more day a week, and are 47% more productive. But go ahead, lean on your subjective grumpiness stat, I guess. Humans by nature need social stimulation and in-person interactions. That is probably pretty true. However, that doesn't mean the solution is put them in an office. We wonder why we are continuing to observe the most bizarre and frightening behavior from people on the sidewalk, in airplanes, subways, and on the road. People have lost much of their in-person human game. People have always been weird, and they're still going to be weird whether there is a pandemic or not. It continues and says, and we are seeing the deleterious side effects of a low-stimulation, isolated world. You know, I'd prefer to be out here than in your office, Stephen Miles. 100%. I'd take this isolation any day. It's a fairly short article, but he ends it with one of those dumb, threatening questions to employees that if you think it through, it doesn't actually make sense. Where are we headed now? Most CEOs would suggest that we're going back to the office. And when they can pull it off, back into the office full time. A key message to anyone who is digging into a default virtual world. If your job can be done virtually, then it can be done somewhere else in the world for a lot less money. If they come back into the office, you are aware that they can still work remotely, so why don't you just fire your entire office and hire everyone else overseas and outsource them for a lot less money? Why don't you do that? Because there are other reasons. Security reasons, time zone differences, communication differences, or even differences in the standards of work. An employee coming to a CEO and saying, hey, I'll come into the office so you don't have to outsource me, doesn't make any sense. Now let me show you his second article, The End of an Era, Employers Retake Control. But before I do that, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. You see, Aura has almost every safety feature you could need while browsing the web. In addition to identity theft protection, I myself use Aura every single day. I use their identity theft protection, I use their credit monitoring, I even use their credit locking system that they have. And I know it works because I was sent an email that said someone tried to check your credit right now, but it's locked when I tried to buy the truck to tow my fifth wheel. And my personal favorite part of Aura is that they have a Chrome extension which manages all your passwords and helps keep them safe. It'll even show you all of the passwords that they've found in different data breaches across the web. It's really nice to know that I can be out here in the middle of nowhere and know my identity is protected, privacy online is protected with their VPN, my passwords are protected, I can remove myself from their data brokers. But here's the best part, you get 2 weeks free. All you gotta do is click my link, put in your information, and see what pops up for you. See if you don't have 600 or 700 passwords that you need to change like I did. And then go to their data broker section and see how many data brokers have your information. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off of your own private information, or you can go to aura.com/fluke to start your free 2-week trial. Again, the link for that is in the description, or you can scan the little QR code. This dude is on a mission to bring people back to the office. Employees reap many of the benefits of exponential hiring combined with massive stock market appreciation and little to no focus on performance management. This all occurred in an employment market so tight that you could easily trade up your role, reaping even more gains and perks from companies trying to win in the so-called war for talent. Here's the most insulting part. Through this phase, many employees have not experienced any form of hardship at work, and through that, a natural level of entitlement and hubris set in demanding more and more, which many employers have been willing to dole out. I don't know what planet the CEO lives on, but I myself am aware of thousands of people who had to work very hard just to get by. And this guy says, you've not experienced any form of hardship. You just got what you want. Employees have built capacity into their roles, and with this, they've taken the opportunity to organize and retaliate against their employer, somehow thinking they have tenured professor status rather than at-will employment status. Hey, I can fire you at any time. You better do what I say. Who has the entitlement now? Which can be seen in the visceral negative content delivered towards employers in company-wide Slack channels or through anonymous external platforms like Fishbowl. Yeah, that's because you make a bunch of dumb decisions, you try to pass it off like it's for the benefit of the company, but it's just for the benefit of the executive. Everyone can see through that, and they call you out on it in the Slack channels. It's not visceral negativity, it's just them calling you on your BS. Power dynamics are pivoting from the employee to the employer, and it's going to be a tectonic reset for many employees who only know the employee power version of the world. There are a lot of employees who had to struggle to get by and are still struggling, or were a part of mass layoffs because CEOs intentionally overhired and then fired because they knew they were going to make a bunch of money in the meantime. As the shift gains momentum, employees will experience a lot fewer perks and the expectation of being in the office a lot more and less flexibility on a personal convenience. The performance management machine is going to go from non-existent to extremely robust, and this will lead to more shedding of people. There will be the expectation of doing more with less, being able to bootstrap and being resourceful. The expectation will be less complaining and more focus on having real grit, and the ability to deliver outcomes rather than pointing to so many activities. Wage and title deflation is also happening. People will stop seeing massive stock appreciation and bonuses that have become expected. You mean the stock that companies bought back for themselves to temporarily increase the price of their stocks. We're entering into a much harder world, and many employees have not experienced real hardship in the workplace. No true Scotsman right off the bat. This is a new era where highly motivated employees at all levels can differentiate themselves like never before through engagement, resilience, and having a can-do, solutions-oriented view of the world rather than complaining and explaining. For all those highly motivated employees out there, let me just go ahead and tell you, you keep doing you keep doing all that hard work, and you'll probably get some more work. So I mean, there's that. They'll tell you they got something down the road for you, but they'll never give you the keys to the car to go down the road. So good luck. They can show their willingness to come into the office and engage with in person to work through the hardest issues by editing and problem solving to deliver a better outcome for the company and ultimately for themselves. Oh, miss me with that BS. That's why they're coming to the office, so that they can help themselves. That's what you want us to think, Steven? Get out of here. You're crazy, bro. Anyways, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video. Click subscribe if you'd like to see me call out more of this corporate nonsense when it gets put out there. And let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Have employees lost power? Should we all go back to the office? Anyways, don't forget to check out your free 2-week trial with Aura. The link for that is down in the description, or it's aura.com/fluke. Go see what the internet knows about you. Having said all that, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.